on WTOP.
Tonight he's going to be talking to us about not only where he thinks the economy is. I think he's going to try to engender confidence that we're going to get out of this deep recession that we've fallen into and grow once again our economy and create the kind of jobs we need in this country. And I'm sure that he's going to then talk about three of our priorities and his priorities, the economic crisis, but the necessity to return to fiscal responsibility over the long term and fiscal balance, but to invest in health care, bringing the costs down for families, making sure that health care is accessible to our people. He's going to talk about the critical nature of energy independence and investing in alternative means of energy, not only to be energy independent, but also, of course, to make sure that we are an environmentally friendly user of energy. And then I think he'll also talk about making sure that our education system is the best it can be and that it provides for our young people and not so young people to be competitive in the world marketplace in which we find ourselves. I expect those to be the themes of his speech tonight.
Majority Leader Hoyer, there seem to be twin goals that are coming out tonight, boosting the economy by spending record amounts of money while at the same time making moves to cut the deficit. Some people might say, wait a minute, those are headed in opposite directions, and this may be a kind of double talk. How will the Democrats accomplish both of these at once?
Some people may say that, and if they said that, I think they'd be wrong. What the president is saying is, in the short term, at a time of crisis, we've got to invest, and yes, we borrowed the money to do so, to invest in stopping the slide, getting us on an even keel, and bringing us out of this recession. But in the long term, the way we're going to be successful is to make sure that we're fiscally responsible and bring back what the Clinton administration created through their economic program, not only balance but surplus. And his belief is that we got to come out of the recession, but we've got to have a plan for the longer term to make sure that we're fiscally responsible so we're not mortgaging our country's future and our young people's future. It's saying we have an immediate crisis. We're going to invest to get out of it, but we're also going to be smart in the long term to make sure that our economy is stabilized and continues to grow.
As you know, Louisiana Governor Bobby Jindal is going to give the Republican response tonight, and he plans to say, quote, "The way to lead is not to raise taxes and put more money and power in the hands of Washington politicians." Jindal is going to call the Democrats, quote, "irresponsible for passing a stimulus bill that Republicans criticize as excessive and wasteful." What's your response to that?
Well, of course, the policies that the present governor of Louisiana supported when he was here in Congress, of course, are part and parcel of why this economy has fallen on such hard times. It's ironic that Republicans who brought us to this point, who spent at twice the rate of growth when they were totally in power. They had the House of Representatives, the United States Senate, and the presidency, and they spent at twice the rate of growth that was spent in the Clinton administration. And unlike the Clinton administration that ended up in the black, that is to say they had a positive cash flow after 8 years, the past administration, the Bush administration, which Jindal supported, created over $2 trillion in deficits. So that it's a little ironic, I think, that the governor is now pointing fingers. As a result of the crisis that confronted President Obama and the 111th Congress, it was absolutely essential, according to economists across the board, Republican, Democratic, liberal, conservative economists, Mark Zandi, who was an advisor to Senator McCain when he ran for president, all indicated you've got to infuse the economy with very substantial investments. And they said you have to do a mix, tax cuts and investment spending, to try to replace the spending that has been lost and has been, as a result, the economy is in the doldrums. So that I frankly don't think that somebody who supported the economic policies of the Bush administration, which have brought us so low, is in much of a place to criticize a response supported by a broad spectrum of economists who think that what we did is absolutely essential, and a broad swath of editorial writers and commentators.
Part of what President Obama will say tonight will include this line: the answers to our problems lie in the imaginations of our entrepreneurs. But some of these entrepreneurs make more than $250,000 a year, and if taxes go up for those guys, will that not hurt entrepreneurs as well as small business owners?
Let me say this, that in 1993, the Republicans, particularly Dick Armey, who was then one of the leaders of the Republican Party and an economist, claimed that the policies of the Clinton administration and the economic program that was adopted would lead to high deficits, high unemployment, and a stagnant economy, and that we would lose jobs. Exactly the opposite happened. And the policies of the Clinton administration led to the creation of 22 million jobs, as opposed to 3 million in the Bush administration, which they claimed their tax policies would create more jobs than the Clinton administration and bring us to a balanced budget. They were wrong then, and they're wrong now. I think that President Obama knows clearly that we need to invest in our country's future. He believes that the entrepreneurial spirit that exists is going to exist and succeed, and enterprise will thrive, but it will also pay its fair share of taxes. It's very nice to say that we want to have entrepreneurs have incentive. I'm for that. We want to keep taxes low. But it's another thing to say that entrepreneurs who make literally millions and millions of dollars should not pay their fair share. In fact, the tax cuts of the Bush administration benefited far more the wealthy than they did the middle-income worker. And the middle-income worker knows that to be the case.
That's House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer of Maryland.
In about 25 minutes, we'll be speaking with Virginia Congressman Eric Cantor. He's part of the Republican leadership in the House.
WTOP News Time, 7:38.
103.5 WTOP Radio. Traffic and weather together.